Okay, I think we are now live and hello and good evening to everyone na kasama natin sa live ngayon. It's very medyo parang wala ko sa kulas na weekday tayo magpa-live. But for Miss Earth, we give that kind of treatment na kahit na wala sa oras natin na usual yung pa-live natin gagawa natin ang paraan. So, yun. Let's, attendance muna tayo. Jeff Tuna is here. He's saying hello. All-time best ang top 4 ng Miss Earth 2022. Agree. I would like to say na yung expectation ko with the top 4 winners has been exceeded. In fact, I think ito yung pinaka na-enjoy ko na top 4 among all the past na Miss Earth na winners, and that this batch of 4 winners trumps yung pinaka-favorite ko ever na top 4, which is yung 2013 where Katarina Choi Nunez was Miss Fire, and Alice Henrich was Miss Earth, tapos si Punica was I think Water. Oh my God, I forgot the air, which I think Austria yata yung nanalo din. So, I agree yung top 4 na ito ang isa sa pinaka-strong na, or rather yung pinaka-strong na winners ng Miss Earth so far. Um, Wait lang. Medyo madilim yung ano natin. Let's add lighting. Ayan. I think mas better. Sorry, nalaglag yung ang aking pen. So, anyway, as I was saying, attendance muna tayo. Rodwin Fiel, hello. Good evening. Michelle Ree, hello sir. Good evening din sa iyo, Michelle. Rodvin is saying na agree siya kay Jeff na walang tapo ng top 4. So, I think it's safe to say na if we're going to categorize the good, the bad, and the fabulous, I think it's the top 4 that really takes the cake when it comes to, that conversation. Dahil I think ito yung top 4 na hindi ka mag-aalangan. This is actually, sige, let's start the conversation with the top 4 because this is the most, I would say, the pinaka-strong ever na top 4 ng Miss Earth. Simply because kahit na sinos dun sa apat na yon, kapag siya ang nakoronahang Miss Earth, tingin ko walang magiging reklamo ang mga fans. I think that if nagka-balibaligtad man ang placements or ang titles nila, I think the fans would still agree that solid pa rin yung outcome ng winners. I think that if si Sheridan ang nanalo, walang masasabi ang mga fans dahil makuda din siya. If si Colombia ang manalo, I don't think fans will have any problem with that because she's really very striking in person. And even if Palestine, who is not necessarily a sash factor country na mabigyan ng pagkakataon to wear the Miss Earth na title, I don't think that we would be or would have any qualms about her winning because she really, was one of the girls that shone that night. And in fact, in my list of favorites that I've written in the blog, among the 8 girls na nilista ko doon, I've mentioned that Nadine would possibly be one of the girls na pwedeng maging spoiler ng Miss Earth. So it was not a shock for me na she was in the top 4. I actually expected that among all the 4 favorites na I've listed in my blog at yung pinag-usapan natin last Sunday na favorites ko for the title, I was expecting na merong isa na possibly manunulot ng spot among those 4. And in those, in my list, of the 8 possible girls, I've included Nadine, Palestine. I've included Zimbabwe, who was for me one of the more underrated na mga candidates this year, simply because not a lot of pageant pageant pages put her in the leading as a possible contender. And then Namibia as well. So medyo on that end, I think yung mga possible spoilers ko were really girls of quality. So there. Sige, balik tayo sa pa-attendance. Catherine Mingi, hello, good evening. May Angko, good evening din. Sa mga bagong salta, please give a thumbs up, a like on our live stream para mas gumana yung algorithm niya at dumami tayo dito sa live natin this evening. Ramsey is saying hello din as well. Johnny B is watching from Novaliches. Hajiev is saying na I love the top four pero preferred ko sana si Cuba over Colombia. Pag-usapan natin mamaya yan kasi Cuba was one of the heartbreaks na shocked ako na hindi nakapasok sa top 8 simply because I was expecting her na mag-perform doon sa finals and I did saw her perform. In fact, siya yung pinaka-overall, pinakamalinis yung performance mula swimsuit hanggang evening gown. And I was really very surprised na hindi siya nakapasok sa top 12. Sa top 8 after landing in the top 12. Kasi looking at the girls who made top 4, ang top 4 natin, my criticism for them is that hindi lahat sila plakado yung performance na aspect, plakado yung pasarela. So hindi, alam mo yun, on that side, I was like shocked na Shayla was eliminated quite early because kung compare ko yung pasarela ni Shayla versus let's say Palestine or even Korea and Australia, mas plakado, mas malinis yung performance ni Shayla that night. Although I would say that yung masyado siyang maraming turns doon sa kanyang choreography, I think maybe yun ang isa sa mga nakasama sa kanya. However, in terms of technical skill, looking at it from a technical standpoint, I think Shayla is far more superior than other girls who made top 4. Okay, Mark Gonzalez, hello, good evening. In your opinion, why did Belarus fail to enter the semifinals? Kasi mahirap yung mga babanggain niya for the Continental na groups. What do you call this? The girls na nakapasok like sina Belgium, si Netherlands, sino pa ba? Belgium, Netherlands, I think Slovenia and I forgot the last one. Slovenia, Ireland. I think these girls, underrated silang nag-perform, especially Ireland and Slovenia. I think they were very underrated pero they did perform kasi habang tinitignan ko yung mga echo videos nila ganyan, I think they really did do well on that aspect. So yun, Hajiev on the show overall love the pacing, agree, except I agree din na hindi ko nagustuhan yung masyadong talakaton ng mga past winners. It ate up too much time and pag-usapan natin yan mamaya. Johnny B, we hope to see Cuba in other pageants. I hope so too. Kasi it's such a wasted opportunity. Sayang. Ramsey, sabi niya, happy for Miss Korea. Matagal na rin naman po nakapag-place ang Korea. Side comment lang po. Pero si Colombia, meron winning glow. Medyo rin ako convinced sa gown na ginamit ni Colombia. Ayan. Jella Vlogs, hello, good evening. Mark Gonzalez, I love that Africa is well recognized in this pageant. No sash factor in effect. You noticed Ethiopia in the EB Spotlight event and she made top 20. Zimbabwe needs to join another Big Four pageant. Yun. I think si Zimbabwe, when dun sa finals, I think dun siya nagbuckle eh. Sayang lang kasi the opportunity was there for her. I think had she had a stronger answer, had she had a better, a better attack doon sa kanyang hashtag na round, baka nag-top 4 siya. Sayang. But again, she would have been the spoiler na pumasok instead of maybe Palestine. So, I don't know. Pwedeng pwedeng ganun ka how do you call this? Ganun ka laki yung factor na hindi siya nag-perform ng masyado doon sa Q&A, doon sa hashtag na round. Um, wait. Jello Vlogs is saying na maraming Europeans na nakapasok, 7 out of 20. 7 out of 20 ba? I think, let's see. Si Belgium, si Netherlands, Portugal, Czech Republic. Josa kasi si Czech Republic in person. So I mean I wouldn't discount her making top 20. And then Ireland, Norway, Slovenia. Oh nga no. I think it was a domination ng mga Europeans with the top 20. However, I think that dun sa performance yung finals night, wala kang masabi doon sa the way that the girls who made top 4 really made a great impression with the judges. Even with me as well. Kasi ang tinignan ko talaga is kung sino yung maganda na ko dapat. So, I think it's safe to say that for Miss Earth, importante yung intelligence na round at saka yung beauty of face na round. Not necessarily on the pasarela and the technical aspect dahil kita nyo naman na despite having other girls who are stronger in terms of the technical skills, pumasok pa din yung mga favorites natin who are very much, are very much on the intelligence and the beauty of face na who made a killing. Okay, sige, i-run down natin yung mga binanggit dito ni Jella Vlogs. Asia Pacific is 5 out of 20, Americas is 4 out of 20, Africa is 4 out of 20, which is pretty much okay. Although I would have reduced maybe one spot ng tawag nito ng Europe pala, and given it to maybe one Asian girl. Yon. And who's that Asian girl? I would say it's either Thailand or Nepal. Simply because Nepal for me, isa siya doon sa mga I personally thought was one of the more outspoken, well-spoken na mga girls na tingin ko, alam mo yun, pwedeng may ibuga siya when it comes to the talking rounds. So there. Now, let's talk about muna yung mga bagay-bagay na nagustuhan natin dito sa Miss Earth this year. So, guys, I want to, as much as possible, to make this live under an hour or an hour and 30 minutes max. Dahil may pasok tayo bukas, so we need to make this, as fast-paced as we can. Okay? So, I will be noting down some of your comments a little bit later. I just want to, go through with the points that I wanted to talk about. And so first the first thing that I want to discuss is the good points ng Miss Earth. One is yung fast pace na competition. After the announcement, may competition ka agad, may scoring agad, like after ma-announce yung top 12 ba yun or top 8, meron ng beauty of face ka agad na, or rather top 12 na beauty of face na round ka agad, and then after ng round na yon, biglang cut down to the top 8, tapos hashtag ka agad, and then cut to top 4, and then Q&A, and then announcement. The only thing that I really didn't like doon sa pacing nung buong pageant is you there to buy time for wait lang. Okay, I think we're back there. Sorry, medyo nag-buffer yung ating yung ating Wi-Fi. So anyway, as I've mentioned, yung mga past Miss Earth na mga winners, when they are doing their talakaton, medyo nabagalan ako on that aspect because I think that those segments where they interviewed members of the audience, they could have made use of other opportunities to, to do something else. Perhaps a segment on ano yung mga achievements ng mga past winners ng or the last year's winners when it comes to their advocacies. Kasi if the Miss Earth pageant is an advocacy-driven na pageant, then bakit hindi nila bigyan ng pagkakataon to put at spotlight kung ano yung mga na-achieve nila, na-accomplish nila in their reign. Like for example, we've done seminars on this and this and that, and we've visited schools, maybe 100 schools in this part of the country or this part of the region where we educated students more on the need for sustainable na mga eco practices. So those are things that I think could have filled in yung mga dead moments ng pageant na instead of pinuno nila yun ng talakaton. Another thing that I would have appreciated is that they could have hired mga entertainers to do maybe a cultural show on, let's say, indigenous peoples and their traditions and their mga sayaw and culture, so that it adds a little bit of Filipino flair into the pageant para magkaroon naman ng entertainment factor, magkaroon naman ng konting tradition or a little bit of entertainment and showmanship into the pageant. Kasi on my end, I actually was there at around 5 or 5:15 p.m. Ang call time sa aming mga media was around 5 p.m. And then nabanggit nga sa amin is 6 p.m. yung start. Although I was already expecting na it might be delayed at mangyari siya, mag-start siya ng around 7. I didn't expect it though na 7 siya mag-start tapos alas 10 siya matatapos. I would have expected na if they trimmed out the fat na parts yung talakathon na segment, siguro that could have been maybe 2 hours and 30 minutes na finals. So I think that's an area that I hope that Miss Earth organization would try to look up to. Okay. Hajiev says na, I love the opening number, except the animal sounds. Also, as reigning queen, Destiny should have been dressed not in a swimsuit. I kind of agree with you. I would have loved Destiny to wear maybe, I don't know, a short dress na lang or shorts and top na combo na medyo mas balot tignan, but I don't know, maybe that's the directive ng Miss Earth. I do have to say that yung remix ng Miss Earth theme song, yung Woman of the Earth na theme song, was very much more lively, and it was more modern yung version niya ngayon. I think sa lahat ng mga opening numbers ng Miss Earth, ito yung pinaka na-enjoy ko. Doon sa venue, hindi masyadong marinig yung roars ng mga animals, yung pag-neigh ng kabayo, yung screech ng hawk na intermixed into the opening number song. Pero nung pinanood ko yung live stream sa YouTube, hindi siya ganun kaganda pakinggan. But doon sa mismong live na venue, actually it sounded good. It's maybe because natatabunan nung boom, yung bass na sound yung mga high pitch na mga animal sounds. So yun. Sabi ni Jella, sorry na po sa interview sa audience. Pero I mean, I would understand if maybe 1 or 2 yung interview sa audience. Siguro 2 ganon, okay na ako doon. Solve na tayo doon. Pero yung 4, medyo parang overkill na. I would have hoped na they would have thought of other things to fill in yung gap. Kasi yung mga gap na yon, they are using those gap para yung mga girls backstage makapagbihes. And I think it would have been much better if they were able to make sure na yung mga gaps na yon is filled in with more entertainment na could have added value to the Miss Earth finals. Now, okay. Another thing na I liked about the show was that it didn't although it did not translate on the telecast, the live stream ng Miss Earth, but doon sa actual na live, ang glossy, ang ganda nung stage, nung pageant, nung buong pageant, nung buong flow, very bongga, kumbaga, yung overall na ano ng Miss Earth, na production ng Miss Earth. I really love the way that yung LED na screen was really big and huge, na nakikita mo yung how nag-level up din in terms of stage design ang Miss Earth, and it was really, it was really sad na hindi siya nag-translate tawag nito, doon sa ating YouTube na pa-live stream nila, kasi it would have been an opportunity for the Miss Earth na ipakita na bukod sa nag-level up na ngayong stage, nag-level up din yung mga camera angle sana, o kaya yung mga angulo nung mga cameraman, kasi I've heard the usual criticism na masyadong maasap in the 2000s o 2010 yung angulo nung camera angles, and it's really a missed opportunity to sana showed a little bit more finesse in the camera angling. So yun, pinagsasama ko na yung good and the bad na discussion para we are able to to attack the finer points a little bit later with much more with much more depth of understanding, kasi mamaya I will be talking about something that I noticed sa Miss Earth, and I think these are areas na ang may problema mismo is the Miss Earth na community, the pageant itself, and what are the things that we can do to solve those kind of problems. Okay, so another thing that I really loved about this edition, that I put it on the good points, is the fact that they announced the Miss Earth 2023 to be hosted in Vietnam. I know, meron mga nagtatanong na, sir, ano nangyari doon sa hosting ng Thailand that's supposed to happen, kasi apparently there is a national director or the national director of Thailand mentioned that they are going to host Miss Earth in 2023, but the thing kasi is what they announced officially in the Miss Earth na finals was that it will be held in Vietnam, and I am much more what do you call this? Parang mas masaya ako na sa Vietnam siya gaganapin more than Thailand, because ayaw ko na mag-aaway yung audience ng Miss Earth at saka ng Miss Universe, if Miss Universe 2023 is going to happen in Thailand as well. So parang kung masyadong dikit yung schedules niya, whether it's November for Miss Earth and December for Miss Universe, parang it's too much of a quick or too much of a close call in terms of their timetables. And now with the rumors that Vietnam is backing out at hosting Miss Grand International in Vietnam because of the bullying issue, the fat shaming issue of the organization with the Vietnamese candidate this year, I am looking at the possibility na kung mag-host ang Thailand ng Miss Earth, tapos isabay ni who yung pageant niya sa schedule, or magkaroon ng overlap, maghahalo ang balat sa tinalupan ng mga pageant fans ng pagpag at ng taytay. And ayoko mangyari yon, kasi nagkakaroon na nga tayo ng understanding na we can coexist peacefully And sana ma-maintain natin 'yon kasi maganda na yung relationship ng ano ng ME na fans with Baitong, with her winning Miss Fire last year. So sana hindi magkaroon ng issue yung mga overlap kasi nakita naman natin kung paano inisnab ng Philippine fans, Philippine pageant community yung pagdalaw ng mga taga-kabilang parlor dito. So there. So that is why I am all for the Vietnam hosting. I am hoping though that after the Vietnam hosting, magkaroon ng opportunity ang Thailand to host Miss Earth in 2024. I think mas maganda yung ganung klaseng conversation na lang na i-postpone na lang ng a year after para hindi siya mag-overlap with Miss Universe or hindi magkaroon ng um, split on focus between ME and MU. Okay? Alam niyo naman na ang Pilipinas, between Miss Earth and Miss Universe, mas may loyalty ang mga Pinoy fans sa Miss Universe. So that's a reality that we all have to take into consideration. Now, another thing na gusto kong i-point out among the good things that happened in Miss Earth this year is that James Deakin really did a good job when some of the girls in the top four during the final Q&A, parang nahirapan sila din sa question. Kasi phonetically, when you say right, it can be spelled R-I-G-H-T or W-R-I-T-E. And I think that is where nagkaroon ng confusion si Miss Colombia. And that's not because of her fault. I think that the right verbiage, the right word used in the questioning could have, or rather should have been something that has been edited, thought about, and refined if need be. Because pagdating dun sa stage, ang dinig ko is pwedeng WRITE yung final question rather than RIGHT. And I think yun yung medyo naka-apekto, I believe, doon sa sagot nung the first two girls who answered the question because I would have hoped na doon pa lang sa first na or rather doon pa lang kay Colombia nung sumagot si Colombia na nasalo kaagad ni James Deakin sana na she could have said corrected rather than right the whatever the the what do you call this whatever the uh, things that needs to be corrected doon sa question. So buti na lang on the last two girls, James Deakin made that kind of explanation or clarification para mas nakuha nung the last two na sumagot yung question ng tama. And I think it was sad that it could have made the change in Colombia's answer, but I guess it is what it is. So yun. James did a good job with the hosting. I just hope na sana nasalo ka agad yung question, I mean yung na-clarify ka agad yung question na yon sa umpisa pa lang para hindi nagkaroon ng issue doon sa non-native speakers ng English. Kasi for example, for Miss Australia, madali niyang mahulaan yung konteksto ng word because she is a native English speaker. But for someone like Colombia or let's say Korea na hindi naman except I would probably put in exception, Palestine and Korea because they lived and they studied, in the US. So maybe siguro for Colombia, sana na ano yun na kumbaga na pick up sana ng organization that the question could have been misleading because of the phonetics of the word. Okay. So there. Okay. Let's basa muna some some of your comments, and then balik tayo doon sa ating conversation. So, Hajiev, I think nabasa ko na itong comment ni Hajiev. So Gary, 1221 says, "Hi Jason, what do you think will be Korea's impact to the Miss Earth brand?" That's a tough question to answer at this moment because I don't know yet kung ano yung plans niya or plans ng organization for her moving into into her reign. But I do hope that there would a set down of the Miss Earth organization with Miss Korea and her and her national directors so that they can plan properly kung ano yung mga steps that they were gonna do for her reign. Kasi from what I've understood is that yung mga nananalo sa Miss Korea, they are usually when they compete in outside of their national pageants. Pag nagpunta na sila sa international na competitions, they're not necessarily being supported by their national organizations. So yun yung banggit sa akin ni Katharina Choi when she competed in 2013 na if they are offered the opportunity to compete in the international na pageant, parang yung fees lang yata involved ang sasagutin ng national na organization. Bahala na yung mga girls on their gowns, on their training, and on their wardrobe, ganyan. So, alam mo yun, parang hands off yung org when it comes to, their winner. Or rather, their representative whenever they go and compete internationally. And I think that is a missed opportunity sa Miss Korea na org dahil pwede naman na suportahan nila yung mga kandidata nila in their quest. So, I am apprehensive kung ano yung plano or magiging plano for Mina ng Miss Earth at saka ng Miss Korea na organization. So I hope na magkaroon sila ng sit down to really plan yung kanyang year because sayang yung opportunity dahil very popular si Mina sa mga Miss Earth na fans, especially fans. So there. Okay, Catherine Mingi. Okay, Catherine Mingi, what's your take po sa mga side hosts? Medyo nahilo sa kanila. Again, as I've said, they were there to buy time for the candidates to make wardrobe changes. So I just hope, again, as I said earlier, nagawa nila ng paraan to find other ways to fill in those gaps instead of the super habang talakaton. Jella Vlogs is asking your thoughts on nalaglag like Venezuela, Thailand, and Belarus. Again, this is a very tough spot because they are essentially competing against their own continental na mga tawag nito, na mga co-candidates nila. And I think the reason why maraming nalaglag na mga favorites is because doon siguro sa beauty. The reason why maraming nalaglag na mga favorites is because doon siguro sa beauty of face or doon sa intelligence na rounds, doon sila na nahuli. Doon sila nagkaroon ng setback because I understand why the top 20 was comprised of that way. I understand why yung top 8 ganon. Kasi lahat sila makuda, lahat sila pag pinahawakan mo ng mic, may masasabi about whatever hashtag or whatever questions that they're going to be asked. And I think the reason why na hindi nakapasok yung yung tatlo is simply because of maybe they ran out of luck. So yun. Okay. Bandy says, "Good evening, Sir Jason. It was a surprising top 20: Norway, Namibia, Slovenia, Ireland, and the shutout of the powerhouses Thailand, Indonesia, and Venezuela. Totally unexpected. Norway, Namibia, Slovenia, Ireland, And the shuttle of the powerhouses, Thailand, Indonesia, and Venezuela, totally unexpected. Nung pumasok ang Colombia sa top 4, it's basically the Miss Earth org spoon-feeding them to take charge in the winning crown. Sad lang kasi weakness pala talaga ni Andrea ang Q&A. Again, as I said doon sa Q&A ni Andrea, for a non-native speaker, when you hear the word right, it can mean WRITE or RIGHT. And maybe doon sa question, hindi nagkaroon ng enough context clues on the question itself for her to, get something, to understand the question, very explicitly. And I think the reason also kung bakit pinaulit niya kay James Deakin yung question is for her to really understand what the question is all about. So there. I think next time siguro, magkaroon din tayo ng understanding, or we be more open, hindi naman open, but more understanding lang talaga na hindi lahat ng non-native English speakers can get the question without further having context with regards to the question. Ayun. Ano pa ba? Nasaan na tayo? Okay, let's now jump into some of the things, the areas of growth ng Miss Earth, the areas that I think they can still make some, how to say this? Make some improvements on. Una sa lahat is yung timing. Ang problema sa timing is that kung you are 1 hour delay, hindi mo pwedeng sabihin doon sa broadcast na mag-air ng pageant mo na, ay sorry, pasensya na, can you fill in like an hour of content mo na doon sa spot namin kasi may nangyayari pa na kaya hindi kami makapag-live on the said hour that we said na mag-start yung program. I think that's an area na I think lahat ng mga pageants dito sa Pilipinas really needs to be very mindful about. And this is not just unique to Miss Earth. Pati Binibining Pilipinas, ano din dito, may ano din dito, may problema din sa starting on time, especially if they say na we would start at 8 o'clock tapos 9 o'clock mag-start yung program. So, I mean, let's stop normalizing Filipino time that is implied na we're always late. I think it's about time that we are to be respectful of everybody's time. Na if they say na we start at 6, then we start at 6. Kasi alam mo yun, parang nakakahiya na, like for example, Global Vision, madaling araw sa kanila yung pageant, and then kapag sabi nila, okay, we will start at let's say 1 a.m. in the morning, tapos biglang, sorry, hindi pa namin kayang mag-live kasi hindi pa sila nag-uumpisa sa Pilipinas. Parang ang pangit pakinggan or ang pangit tignan nung optics na yon. Nagmumukhang unprofessional ang Pilipinas because we can't start in time. And that's really one of my pet peeves kasi if I am not respectful of your time, it shows very little, respect on my part for your time, and that is something na ang hirap na to get over with kasi oras is hindi lahat tayo free ang oras natin. I think that time is one of those resources na kapag nilustay mo, hindi na babalik sa'yo. So you really need to start normalizing, and start demanding pageants and people to be respectful of our time. So yun, I think that's an area that they really need to focus on and fix. And this is not only for Miss Earth, but also for every national pageant here in the Philippines. Isipin nyo, kung ang pageant mo is 3 hours long, 4 hours long, 5 hours long, paano yung mga candidates na hindi pa kumakain? Paano pag naubusan? Paano kung matrace mo rin pera sila na very low na yung blood sugar nila sa sistema nila? I mean, would you risk them falling on stage because wala na silang energy? So I think that's that's something that we should all be, be mindful of, making sure that we start on time and on time, and we maximize time, because nowadays oras, delicate yan na resource. Okay, another thing that I think they really need to, the Miss Earth needs to make adjustments on, is on the technical na aspect. Like for example, yung YouTube nila na pa-live stream na nagkaroon ng, I think nagkaroon ng stoppage at some point, na parang nahinto yung pa-live nila, and then inulit-ulit nila after a while. That's one thing. Pangalawa is yung doon sa stage nila, nagkaroon ng glitch, isa o dalawang parts ng panel nung sa side panel ng stage. Kasi yung stage was, you have a large panel in the middle, dalawang side panel here, and then two smaller panel at the wings, kung saan ipinapakita kung ano yung lumalabas doon sa TV. So ganun yung setup ng buong stage. And yung side panel doon sa yung wings, yung nasa gilid, there are parts na biglang nag-turn off yung kalahati. So on the live na audiences, nakikita namin yon. And I hope na in the future, magawan ng paraan na hindi magkaroon ng ganong klaseng glitches. Kasi we really need to make sure na very smooth yung overall na flow ng entire pageant. However, as I've said, the stage design was so gorgeous. Wala akong masabi except that yung mga panels lang na nag-glitch, na nagkaroon ng problema. Other than that, I think the entire stage design was flawless. Wala akong maipintas doon sa background nung pageant, especially dun sa opening, sa swimwear. I love the fact that they put a lot of Philippine tourist spots, yung Mayon Volcano natin, Boracay, yung mga islands natin in Palawan. All of those things na appreciate ko doon sa finals, especially doon sa live na telecast. So yun lang, konting more effort on the technical na aspect, kasi doon tayo napupuna doon tayo nagkakaroon doon nagkakaroon ng bala yung mga haters ng ME na punahin yung pageant. So there. And then nabanggit ko na rin naman yung kanina, yung delay, yung delay causing ng mga conversations ng mga past Miss Earth. As I said, mas maganda kung gawin nila ng paraan na i-convert nila yung mga oras na yon, to have more value increasing na mga entertainment na segments, especially on ano yung mga nagawa ng mga reigning queens in their reigns, not just yung travels but really what are the grassroots na activities that they have done in their communities, promoting eco-consciousness, environmentally friendly na mga activities, ganyan, para mas magkaroon ng into action yung mga reigns nila, di ba? Para it also gives them more authority when they talk about environmental causes. So yun. Now, Jello Vlogs saying, saan mas bet Mona venue, Cove or MOA Arena? Cubao. Kasing malapit. Honestly, I have no preference between MOA and Cove. There are pros and cons. Kasi yung MOA, ang maganda sa MOA, elevated yung kanilang theater. So that means that kahit nasa likod ka, dahil elevated ka, mas maganda ang visage mas maganda yung vista mo. Mas maganda yung view mo because you are elevated, you can see what's going on. The problem kasi with the Cove is that very flat yung entire na surface nung venue. So kapag nasa likod ka, hirap kang makakuha ng magandang footage, magandang photos, because on our part, kaming mga media, nandun kami sa pinakalikod na parte. Kasi so ito yung stage, So ito yung stage, di ba? And then at the back, nandun ang media kasi yung pool nakaharang sa gitna. So ganun yung setup. And that's, that's kind of difficult, especially kung wala kang zoom na camera. Kasi it will not allow you to get, very, very close up na mga photos. So that's the problem. And that is why medyo I am very apprehensive doon sa lugar ng what do you call this, ng Cove. However, the good thing about Cove is that they have a huge na LED na backdrop na pwede mong paglaruan. And I think yun yung wala sa MOA na na-appreciate ko sa The Cove. So it's just a matter of preference between the two. But for me, I like the intimacy of what do you call this, of The Cove sa Okada. But I like the elevated seats ng ng MOA Arena. So if they can combine those two in either of those venues, perfect yung venue na yon. Okay? Ay, may dumalaw na gustong gumawa ng issue. O sige, manigas ka diyan. Bahala ka diyan. Ayun. 'Di ba, Jella, bet mo rin ang Cubao. Kasi ang Cubao kasi ang problema kasi sa MOA, sa Okada is hindi siya very accessible. I mean, hindi siya gano'n kabilis na i-travel on. Unlike ang Cubao na marami kang ways to go there. You can go by Grab, you can go by taxi, you can go by public transport. Merong terminal mismo ang Araneta City, where pwedeng pumunta ng north, pwedeng pumunta ng south. So alam mo yun, it is very much accessible, unlike yung mga nasa Parañaque na areas, right? So there. Okay. Let's read some comments because meron pa ako mga pointers that I really want to get in touch with or to point out with regards to our. Ooh. Okay. Let's just wait for it to reconnect. Okay. Okay. Where are we now? Okay. So let me just troubleshoot a bit yung ating. Okay. Okay. Wait. Let's see. There. I think we're back. Okay. Yung problema sa internet sa Pilipinas. Okay. As I was saying, now I'm lost. Okay. I'll read the comments pala muna before we proceed with the rest of the with the rest of the notes. Kasi medyo marami-rami yung yung mga notes ko. Ayan. Bandy, Kut is saying, Sir, kung sa Vietnam ang next venue ng Miss Earth, I'm expecting a more polished production since mas may budget if the basis how MU Vietnam registers on screen during streaming. I think, Bandy, I have to also take into consideration na maybe when it comes to equipment, mas may capability yung ibang mga bansa na mag-host ng mga pageants with all these very glossy na put on screen. Maybe it's either their internet connection is much better established, mas stronger yung 5G nila at hindi sila yung inconsistent yung fluctuation ng 5G to 4G to 3G. Another thing that I've noticed is yung of course as I've mentioned is yung equipment and infrastructure. So yung the mere fact na meron silang mga cameraman na naka-strap in yung camera nila at saka hindi nag-shake. I think that's one of the things na sana ma-acquire din ng mga nagte-telecast ng pageants dito sa Pilipinas, and of course yung equipment, yung very high-tech na sharp na equipment, and the way that it translate from the camera to the streaming. So yun, I'm hoping na sana ma-achieve natin yun. Okay, Dorothy V. Jones, though there were some marked improvements, I hope ME will not take this as a free pass to continue with the way they produce their final show. Quality should also be a pillar of Miss Earth as a pageant. I agree kasi with with pageantry, very strong kasi yung very strong yung need, sorry, very strong yung need for what do you call this, strong yung need for, okay, nawala na naman yung ating internet, ano ba yan, uh, okay, um let me just troubleshoot again our internet kasi this is what I don't like about this. It keeps on connecting, reconnecting in, my god. Anyway, yeah, camera stabilizer. Tama. Wait lang, guys. I am having issues with yung ating internet. So let me just find a way to troubleshoot this. Okay. Okay. There, we're back. My God. Again, sorry about the internet issue. This has been an issue lately with internet kasi pati sa Okada ang hina ng signal. Anyway, as I was saying, we are reading yung comments. We're now with Dorothy V. Jones with her comment. Sabi niya, although there were some marked improvements, I hope ME will not take this as a free pass to continue with the way they produce the final show. Quality should be a pillar of Miss Earth as a pageant. Bandy naman says, and sir, how was your experience during your coverage of Miss Earth? How was the ambience and the energy of the crowd? Okay, sagutin muna natin yung kay Dorothy. I agree. Continuous improvement is much better than no improvement at all or erratic na improvement. And I think even if it's slow but minuscule, but as long as it is continuous, it is uninterrupted na how do you say this, na improvement, small incremental improvement, it will be much appreciated na mangyari kaysa yung totally nawala or erratic yung urong-sulong yung improvements. And I think mas mabuti na yung maliliit pero mga proseso just to get accredited as a media with with Miss Earth, accreditation was fast. All I needed to do was, introduce myself and contact the PR ng Miss Earth, introduce myself and mention na I want to cover the finals, and then met her at the actual na, na event, which was very very and enjoyable because very welcoming ang Miss Earth when it comes to media and those who want to cover. And maganda pa doon is ang mga during the pageant, meron silang pakain doon sa mga taong nanonood. So whether you're media, whether you are part of the people who bought VIP tickets or tickets to the venue, merong area for dinner. So that's always a welcome thing to do. What I didn't like though is the way the stage was set up kasi ang layo talaga namin dun sa stage. Kung wala kaming patungan, tuntungan, ang hirap makakuha ng magandang anggulo doon sa finals night. And that is why hindi lahat ng mga pictures ko na ipinost sa Facebook super gaganda. Kasi there are photos na dahil sa layo niya, konting galaw mo lang nagbo-blur yung what do you call this, yung image. So I think that's an area uh, to be improved on na sana in the future yung area ng mga media medyo elevated para naman makakuha kami ng magandang angulo ng show. There. Another thing that I like with the Miss Earth is that super gaan nung coverage. Parang you're not expected to makipagbrasuhan sa kapwa mo media for a good spot. I think it's also a testament to the camaraderie ng buong pageant media dito sa Pilipinas na dahil magkakakilala kaming lahat. We're pretty much very much accommodating and hindi kami masyadong competitive for the best angles or the best areas to shoot kasi we understand the need na mapagbigyan din yung mga kapwa naming mga media, and I think that's one of the things that I really enjoy most with the coverage kasi we are like a huge extended family na kapag kailangan nung isa ng spot, uusog sila just to accommodate everyone. And I think that's one of the reasons why yung Miss Earth is kahit na malalayo, marami yung pumupunta because of how open they are with pageant media. The thing that I didn't necessarily enjoy, again as I've said, is yung distance from the stage na because it's flat, na hindi kami elevated, hindi kami makakuha ng magandang mga photos if we don't have the technical na mga equipments. So that's the thing. But again, those are things na can be improved on naman in the future. It's not necessary. Hindi naman siya yung tipong end all be all ng coverage na hindi ka na magko-cover dahil laylay sa stage. No, it's not like that. There. Sabi ni Jels, bet ko rin. Di ba, Jels, Jella Vlogs, talagang bet na bet talaga ang Cubao kasi of its accessibility. Ayan, Alexa, hello, good evening. Ayan, hi Alexa. I know kahit na late, you're still here and I appreciate the support. Okay. Dorothy V. Jones, it was quite embarrassing as Globovision lost live transmission. I did not know that. Oh my God. The hosts were simply relying on SOCMED updates until they quit broadcasting it live and switched to regular programming. Again, yun na nga. Isa yun sa mga pet peeves ko na sana maayos kasi when you say if you are going to go live on a certain hour, certain specific na oras, you really have to stick to that kasi ang hirap mangyayari nito, you will be losing audiences in the future because they're not going to partner with you again because of the delay in telecast. So yun yung downside if you're not starting your program on time. Um, where were we? Okay. Gary, 1221. I'm currently living in Vietnam and malakas ang internet dito and thriving in beauty and fashion industry. Again, yes. Because currently, Vietnam is where the money is at. I saw this when I was still working in retail dun sa kapitbahay natin sa baba. Nagtrabaho ako doon and nakita ko na ang shift ng ng mga ng where money is at is papunta nga ng Vietnam because one they are a thriving economy bago yung very very new yung kanilang markets. It's a market that is currently growing. So I would assume that in the future doon pupunta ang mga pageants na mag-host, and it started with Miss Earth, Miss Universe now wanting to host yung kanilang pageants doon. So hindi ako magtataka na in the future marami pang mga pageants ang pupunta doon, aside from the big pageants and yung mga smaller pageants na pupunta doon for hosting. Ayan. Uh, Medyo nauuhaw na ako. Okay. Oh, chismis pala. Um, yung kalaban na pageant ang Miss Earth, baka hindi daw matuloy dahil nagpo-pull out na yung mga sponsors. So baka hindi mangyari sa Vietnam yung pageant nila next year. Ayun. Dorothy B. Jones, it's been said time and again that ME people are very accommodating to media and the press. I hope they continue with this. Yeah, and I am witness to that. Hindi sila mapili when it comes to the press people. Hindi rin sila mahigpit when it comes to yung coverages. And that is one of the things that I really appreciate doon sa kanila. Kasi they are very accessible, um, and hindi sila discriminatory. Kasi may mga pageants na gano'n na namimili. So, yun lang, di ba? Sana hindi sila magbago on that aspect kasi it really is very helpful, especially doon sa mga smaller na mga pageant na mga pages, because they are, grooming, or rather they are growing their numbers pa lang. And Miss Earth gives them opportunities, to get into the game without having too much barriers to entry. Jeff Tuna, I don't know. Kasi yun nga, malayo nga kami sa stage, di ba? So, we don't necessarily know what's going on doon sa area ng mga judges. But I've heard that rumor. I cannot confirm it because I haven't seen, or I haven't heard from the people in the know on that aspect. Bandy is asking, Sir Jason, any theories on what happened to Miss Cuba at nalaglag agad siya during the hashtag round? Nawala yung live transmission ng Miss Earth kaya di ko napanood. Okay, during the hashtag round, actually it was very surprising kung bakit siya nalaglag sa top 8. Kasi I was expecting her na mag-perform doon sa top 8 because she's very outspoken, well-spoken, intelligent, smart na candidate. I think that perhaps doon sa top 12, when they narrowed it down to the top 8, they looked at yung beauty of face and yung intelligence as the parang main na areas kung saan papapasukin yung mga girls that they want from the 12 to the 8. I think that there is perhaps, a reason kung bakit ganon dahil they wanted brainy girls to be in the top 8. And with Shayla na very mas technical yung kanyang presentation, ganyan, baka doon siya doon siya nalaglag dahil ang focus ng mga judges were the girls na hindi masyado on the technical but rather more on the face and the intelligence. Not that I'm saying that Shayla is not pretty or not intelligent, but perhaps meron ng what do you call this? Kumbaga, meron ng certain biases din yung mga judges that they are looking for certain qualities of certain girls na ipasok doon sa top 8. And sadly, maybe wala sa luck ni Shayla yung hinahanap nila. So I think that's the only plausible na explanation why Shayla didn't advance further, because on my end, I really thought na Shayla is one of the girls that has a very strong chances of winning. And looking at the top 8, there is a possibility kasi with the top 8 that either one of them could easily upset the four girls who made top 4. So it was really perhaps a very tight na competition, and siguro the scores were just very minuscule in terms of yung paano dikit-dikit yung mga scores nila. Yun. Lemuel, 23.5, Miss Earth has been making choices quite very often. They are lately known to crowning different country every single year. I think Miss Earth is more of a pageant that sash factor is not a thing. That sash factor does not guarantee you a place in the top 4. You need to work hard for it. You need to be the girl na who will represent the Miss Earth brand much better, I think. Kaya you would see Palestine making it. You would see Belize winning the crown. You would see, Sir Jessen, any theories on, no, nabasa na natin yan. Okay, that had Zimbabwe, you know, delivered a stronger na Q&A, or rather na hashtag na answer, she could have made top 4. Pwede siya yung bumasag nung apat. So anyone in the top 8,